Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And you might be able to see a little bit of a difference. No, it's not on my face. No, my face is as it has always been, in fact. It's the phone that is different. Yes, I have the video freshener turned on a brand new phone. Because, if people remember, my other phone started having severe malfunctions, and one severe malfunction really, which yes could have been taken to a technician and repaired most likely. But to be honest, this is probably the only time in my life that I've actually wanted an upgrade, because I remember filming myself for a project that I'm not going to disclose yet, and on my dad's phone, which is this exact same model, the Galaxy S8, and I just remember thinking, oh wow, this is actually, decent video quality. I actually haven't heard the sound yet, so we're going to find out. I hope that's not a sub feature and I'm just talking to myself on mute right now. That would be really counterintuitive, and I don't think that's a feature in anything, so I'm going to say no to that. Oh well, either way, it seems to work just fine. It's kind of a bit odd to hold at the moment, because I know it's in a casing, but it's one of those phones that has a bit of a weird curvature to the side of it, like the screen needed to extend beyond where it was reasonable for human fingers to touch said screen and have said screen respond. I really don't get the reason why that was done. But who knows? I'm not a technician. I'm not a phone designer. All I know is it works, and I like what I see, apart from my face in it. But then again, I can't do much about that, can I? So we'll have to make do. So this week, as you can tell, I'm in a much better mood than last time. I mean, yes, I was definitely in a jovial, jokey sort of mood last time, but it came at the cost of my literal sanity. So you're probably wondering, are the things in question fixed? They are. Everything that I had as a complaint from last week has actually been resolved now. That's weird. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yes, everything got resolved. I didn't just have some sort of sting on my forehead and start forgetting everything. No, but yeah, basically what was the problem actually was that the power source on the actual wall that was connecting the microwave, the fridge and the stove, aka the three arguably most essential appliances other than the toilet, basically that needed to be reset. So yes, it was a classic IT scenario of turning it off and on again. And there's a train. There's a wall there. I'm going down a slightly new avenue. I mean, even by Liverpool standards for me, it's relatively new. See, I'm not going to run out of places here, but it also raised the question as how far I'm willing to walk and how far would be really viable to walk. I'm trying to stay away from as many car populated roads as possible, although it appears I'm now about to come up to one. Or not really. Who knows at this point. Well, honestly, this is quite the quaint little place around here. I mean, look at this area, and in such pristine quality as well, as demonstrated by the not latest of Samsung technology. Well, are they on the S10 or something now? Doesn't matter. This phone is great. I like it so far, and I've only had it for about 4 hours. Oh, there's a dog. Let's go see if there was come up and jump at me, because if so, I probably would have ended up dropping the phone. Again, awkward to hold because of the different placing. But yeah, speaking of appliances that need to be fixed and stuff new, well, the TV was kind of a similar problem actually. It was one of the cables that was slightly dislodged, and it gave me a little bit of an issue once again, but then I just rejigged the cable and that's it. It's a shame. It's one of those times when, oddly enough, the old phones seem to be better. I mean, this one, for example, actually still has a headphone jack attached to it, which people who particularly buy Apple products, aka iPhones, will in fact know that that is not a that is something that they removed for no reason, and people still buy the new phones apparently. I mean, I don't know how much better they want their camera qualities to be, but I'm quite happy with this, honestly. Although I am wondering, I probably should have zoomed out or something, because I feel like I'm a bit too close at the moment. It's like, am I too close here? Am I too close? Yes, I probably am. Best not to do that anymore. But oh well. So yeah, eventually that got fixed, and in general, I guess I get on to the course now. So the course is mostly as before. I mean, we've only just started and there's already been one major change. That being that there is one class that I did not go over last week because I was going to have it immediately after I recorded the Walking Wednesday in question. And that would, of course, be the script workshop that we have as dual honours drama and creative writing students, or as drama and literature students. But of course I'm drama creative writing, so that's why I have that. And that was originally a
that's why I like it so much.
That was originally a face-to-face session, and we did that for the first week. We had our trusty face masks, except that I took mine off to have some tea and biscuits because the guy offered. And yeah, someone offers you tea and biscuits in a class, do take it. Why not? Well, as long as it's the teacher, obviously if it's a stranger coming in, offering you tea and biscuits, worry about it. But if it's a teacher, go for it. Go on then, treat yourself. That's what I would say, and that's what I did. As testament to the fact that I would say it. So many different paths that I could go down. Very interesting. I feel like this place is spacious enough to set some sort of neighborhood drama here or something. I feel like I could, once this whole thing blows over, I could bring a film team here and do some live action stuff. I don't know, or just have a bit more of a wander. Because obviously, Walking Wednesdays, you're in a bit of a time crunch, because you don't want to go on for too long. I have everyone here, I'm holding you all for 20 minutes at gunpoint, trying to not bore you out of your minds, and I might as well not go too much into the realm of exploration. Or who knows, maybe it's more of a visual experience now. Walking Wednesday, the visual experience. Behold the splendour of the meadow before that tree gets in the way. That works too. Behold the tree. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, so honestly it was a matter of time before they closed that down again, because the drama department did that at the end of last year as well, when everything was starting to, take shape. They hadn't started doing Zoom calls and stuff yet, but basically what happened was they decided that, even though the university was announcing that almost everything was closing down, they wanted to keep this one particular lecture that could easily have been recorded and watched online. They want to keep that as a face-to-face. So we only missed on that one lecture really, and I can testify that from the grade that I got from the essay from that module, it didn't affect the grade too much, because I still did relatively well on that one. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I went over my grades in a previous Walking Wednesday. I'm sure that's something that can be researched if you should so desire. Not that I recommend ever revisiting Walking Wednesdays at all.
Thank you.
Cyclists. You just don't see cyclists anymore. Well, actually, that's a lie. I saw another one today, but again, I know. This is where the whole of Liverpool has been hiding out. Well, the whole of Liverpool, they're still hiding out, but some people within Liverpool, they've been hiding out here. I have to say, I get it. But yeah, so it was only a matter of time. Of course, the drama department are always going to try and push for at least a few things to be practical. Although granted, that class in particular didn't need to be practical. Like, it was mostly delivered with us sat at desks. And yes, it's good to have the face-to-face talks and such. But it didn't need to be that way. So I guess they must have lost whatever battle they were having. So yeah, honestly, in terms of practical stuff, we were talking about that today in both the lessons that I had, because there were two different drama modules I did today. And yeah, there is a rising concern about that, about how it is that we're going to do our other things, whichever things we want to do, like create other stuff. And actually, that's one thing that one of the tutors said, that the stuff that we do in class is only about 40% of our actual degree. The rest of the stuff is what we choose to do afterwards. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that means includes rehearsal time for assessed pieces or not. But basically, what they're saying is we have resources. Use us, and that counts towards your learning. Or just in general, do other things. Use us if you need to, and you will still be learning whilst you are doing them. Which actually, I'm really glad that this tutor said that, because that kind of justifies a little bit of my YouTube experience, really, particularly with Buttercorp, because that's what it's all about, doing stuff. Even before it became like the main medium that I was able to actually do anything at all, and that includes, I guess, alongside other voice acting projects that I started auditioning for. It was still me applying my skills, in writing, learning about direction, partly losing sleep over it, but there you go. Just shows you care. That's not true, by the way. By all means, don't do what I do. But what else? Oh yeah, performing in those same things as different characters, trying to editing that, juggling creative thoughts in a team as well. It's honestly that's given me a lot of field experience. And I feel like sometimes when I mention that when YouTube gets mentioned around my family, there's sort of like two different reactions, I think. One of them is when it relates to my cousin, because I don't normally say this, but my cousin is quite a successful YouTuber, and he's one he's worked with EA quite closely. He follows their progress quite a lot, and they follow his, they've sent him sometimes equipment, he's gone to conferences with them, you know. I think he also does some sort of like gaming consultation or something. They offered him an office job at EA, but he of course declined because he had a much better gig going for him where he was. So in that regard, it's always I don't understand this, but you know, but clearly he does and clearly other people do, and it's working out for him. And then when it relates to me, because I have not found nearly a fraction of the audience that he has, it sort of comes across as me wasting my time, I think. And no one in my family is ever going to say that straight to my face. Like, maybe my brother would, but of course, you know, you kind of expect that kind of thing. Yeah, and sometimes I worry if that silent reaction is sort of warranted. Because yeah, in a way, you know, I have dedicated a long time to this, and although I've gotten better, and I get people randomly telling me that I'm underrated when they check my channel, which, thank you by the way if anyone has done that. You clearly haven't watched this series. But yeah, but other than that, I'm still kind of just where I've always been, you know, underqualified. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, you know. By all means, YouTube should always be a hobby first. If anyone wants to pursue that, you know, always make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. But yeah, it just seems that, you know, because of how much time I've given to it, you know, over 7 years of time, it just seems that sometimes I feel like like my family will, you know, that was a motorbike that was very far away, believe it or not. But yeah, it seems like they think, oh yeah, this is like you know, him doing his videos again. I mean, I remember that one time my dad said something like, oh yeah, you're doing your silly videos or something. Granted, those videos at the time were silly. You know, this was 2016, before I was, you know, good at much of anything on YouTube. But yeah, honestly, sometimes like if they don't say as much now, but it's almost like, oh yeah, you can do your videos as long as you've got your priorities right, involving other things. As if to say that I can't prioritize. Hang on. That was the same motorbike. That was the exact same one. What is happening? So you're gonna turn around? Oh, okay, turn around. Well, that interested an emotional moment. I mean, talk about an anticlimax, my goodness. What was I saying? Yeah, as if to say that I can't prioritize video making when it's actually benefiting me. I mean, yeah, sometimes I'll release a couple of like side projects of, you know, me playing games, or, you know, doing something random with my friends, or maybe even reading a fan fiction or two. And yeah, granted, those, I'm not expecting those to, you know, do well. That's just to engage the community a bit more. You know, have some fun while I make some content that I don't have to stress over, I don't have to prioritize, and then focus on the stuff that I do want to prioritize, like why? Just why? He came back out of nowhere. Why? He's turning around again, isn't he? I guess the world doesn't want me to rant today. But yeah, no, I'm just saying that I can then the stuff that I can prioritize, like the Mutant Girl, or Seriganoth, or he's coming back. There you go. Caught the culprit on camera that time. Right. What? Okay. And then other things like the Siren musical, maybe even Puppy Love, which I've actually got I have people asking me, someone asked me, like what happened to Puppy Love because of like all of the production stuff that went on, and Mimi's channel suspension, and I know just other stuff that I have going on in general. There's other things as well that I should have done way sooner, like Enceladus, which should have come out last year. And I don't know, just in general, other things that the things that I want to do. And to me, that's no different to a playwright trying to get stuff performed in theatres, or a writer trying to get a book published, which I'm also trying to do. Yeah, but it seems that YouTube has become like a sort of like combined way to actually experience that and actually be able to do. There was last year during what was called induction week. So last year during induction week, there was a guy on the course who said, "Oh yeah, there were talkers and there doers, and this guy's clearly a doer," referring to me. The drawback of that is he was talking about Enceladus, which never ended up happening. But then again, I still have the audio. Perhaps there's now that I've mentioned before about people needing something to perform as and to do, instead of focusing all my energy on like getting everyone, like rounding them up in the studio, managing to record them in off-peak moments for them. I could simply message them and say, yeah, let's do this, and I'll record this on Zoom. Yes, it will sound terrible in comparison to the studio quality that I've got for the first 3 episodes, but it will at least be something. And that's still performing. We're studying right now in performance studies about what it means to perform, and basically we summarize that it can mean anything. Even something as simple as Walking Wednesday is a performance. I am making jokes and making updates to the camera. It's very improvised, there's no rehearsal, but it's what I do. There's some elements of forethought that will go into it, and there's some random elements that will clash with it, like that motorbike that I hope does not come back. And that's part of the interesting thing about it. In our first lesson of performance studies, we listened to John Cage's 4 minutes 33 seconds, which basically is all about a live performance of essentially like no musical notes whatsoever, and it's musical composition. Like they turn to the pages and everything, but you get to listen to basically everything that goes around you. There's never like actual silence. There's always like page turning, maybe people fumbling about, maybe the orchestra does something. What's on my nose right now? There you go. If I weren't recording in this quality, I wouldn't be able to tell that was there. But yeah, like, the audience coughing. There was a lot of that, by the way. And just in general, listening to more of your surroundings. I mean, that's certainly a performance, if you ask me. But yeah, I feel like we need, as actors in general, I was going to say as drama students, but as actors, we need to act, we need to perform in something. So, honestly, I feel like because I've got experience, in digital media like this, doing stuff like YouTube, that, I should provide for my people, and such. I'm sure that I'll think of something. I mean, the idea surged today about doing a Christmas digital experience. Like maybe people talk about stuff. If Liverpool doesn't actually open up, we can talk about the Christmas that we're all having and how it's how it's devolved into chaos, essentially. and how people probably might not be able to actually return home if the local lockdown doesn't lift. Yes, lift Liverpool local lockdown. That's a tongue twister for you. But yeah, among those other things, maybe I'll do Enceladus. I mean, granted, I've got. It's not like I'm running out of ideas to put together. It's just most of the stuff happens to be that I was going to work on for YouTube anyway. But now I kind of have more of an excuse to see if anyone else wants to get involved. Maybe more of a chance to cross disciplines, much like Lipper did. Honestly, that's been always been the slight downgrade of LJMU, is the fact that we don't get as much crossing of the disciplines. And granted, in Acting Foundation there was a little bit of that, but not too much. It seems to be like the major marketing point for everything else in Lipper. And you know, to somebody who always wants to make stuff and doesn't always have the best expertise to do so, or even the right materials or resources, it seems like something worth delving into, I would say. So, yeah, hopefully I'll think of some things to do with that. I mean, it's a bit of a restrictive medium, but then again, of course it would be. So yeah, I will see. I'm sure that people, you know, when they're not working or doing our coursework, we can use up that 60% of the degree that we would otherwise be lacking. I think that's a good idea, don't you? Either way, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. I'm good at segues recently. But yeah, subscribe if you are new. I will probably be posting more videos with my face in them now, because I have a better camera in which to do so. And I actually have my light working again. So we'll see what the future takes us, you know. Maybe we'll do some more stuff on the Butter Bunch, which, if you don't remember, is my community channel that I have with Aiden, Mimi, who we now refer to as just Emma, and Bibi. And I guess we will, so yeah, if we wanted to do some stuff that we get up to there, like playing a dating sim and voice acting all the characters in it, that's up there too. Want more Dragon Ball content? I've got that coming soon. It will be in terrible camera quality because I recorded it yesterday, but that's just life. So yeah, subscribe to both those channels if you please, and on that note, until next time, farewell.